Again, let me make reference to Mr. President's speech because it is important. He said in his speech that he's disappointed about some people coming to the conference to canvass ethnic agenda. With due respect to Mr. President, I disagree. If your ethnic agenda is anchored and predicated on true federalism, why not push it? Yoruba agenda is nothing but true federalism, parliamentary democracy, autonomy, self-determination. Even the United Nations as a body recognizes that. Again, let's stop this habit of giving ethnicity a bad name. It is not an albatross. It's a fact of life.
But the way we've gone about it here, isn't that why it looks as though we're giving it a bad name?
No, because we're running from adopting a mechanism that will convert our diversity to strength that has been done elsewhere. And I commend him for saying that we cannot continue to pretend as if by running away from the problems will be solved. Certainly not. Look, I agree with him that Nigeria must be the winner. But Nigeria can only win when the component units in Nigeria win. Let me use the analogy of a football team. If you support Man U, Chelsea, or Liverpool, you want your team to win, yes. But your strikers must be in good shape. Your defenders must also be equal to the task. If all the aforementioned are not doing the needful, they are not carrying out their responsibilities, your team cannot win. And therefore, the Yorubas, the Jukuns, the Efiks, the Shekiris, the Ibibios, 350 ethnic nationalities must win for Nigeria to win.
On a lighter note, unless we want to try Spain's way, where they just go with midfielders, no striker, and still achieve the victory.
Well, you just must use a template that will work for you.
Okay, but then, how easy or difficult is the 70% benchmark in achieving or agreeing on anything?
To be honest with you, consensus is the way to go. That is, lock yourself up in a room, try to convince every single person that, look, these are the challenges we have, this is the route to go. Make them see reason. It's not as if you're going to, everybody will be happy, no. But as Chief Falai, the leader of our team, has defined consensus, it is something that you want to live with. I'm not totally satisfied with it, but I can live with it for justice or peace to reign. Therefore, we'll try consensus. In the event that consensus fails, we'll try it first, second, third time. If it fails, then you put it to voting. We would have preferred everything to resolve by consensus. But in a multi-ethnic society like ours, disparate people, different agenda, different, you cannot but have contentious issues, and therefore it may be difficult to have consensus. Just subscribe to what we call majoritarian rule. The majority will have their way, the minority their say. But don't do it in such a way that there will be a victor, there will be vanquished.
Now, sorry, Newton, looking at how, difficult, well, maybe I'm just being a little pessimistic considering the number of people, but I do not imagine that it will be easy arriving at decisions in that conference. But eventually when you do and you come out with a document that's from the national conference, what do you want done with it?
Resolutions should be codified into a constitution, which will be submitted to Nigerian people for them to say yes or no to it. Once they do that, it becomes inviolable. No authority should tinker with it, and it becomes the ground norm, the fundamental.
Not even the National Assembly.
The Nigerian people are greater than the National Assembly. How many of them? They voted them in there. So you can't contest sovereignty with Nigerian people. And I must say this, it gladdens my heart that members of the National Assembly are really cooperating. One, they have assured us that the ongoing constitutional amendment would cater for provision for referendum in the Constitution. Not only that, they're also discussing the possibility of giving power to Mr. President to, by way of an executive bill, initiate a process for bringing about new constitution. That to me is heartwarming. And it does appear to me that everybody appreciates the fact that this conference must succeed. And Mr. President should also know that no game playing. We are actually ready to seize the moment. Nigerian people are watching everybody, and therefore recommendations that delegates who come away from this conference should be implemented. Time is going, and we must do something about it.
Mr. Adegbuyi, it's a beautiful thing that the National Assembly is backing you. I think they are cooperating, and everybody's focused. The issues are clear, but Nigerians are still concerned. I have people here who are worried about issues of religion, tribal sentiments, greed. Salah Blinks, for instance, says issues of money, food. I mean, it's in the papers where they're arguing over food. Should the conference provide lunch? Should it not provide lunch? So at the end of the day, you have issues that are not issues being a distraction.
Let's treat those inconsequential issues as they are. They don't go to the root of the matter.
But wouldn't they be a distraction to the main things that have taken you to the national conference?
How can it be? We have started work, we have hit the ground running. Now, religion, it is because there has been failure of governance. And the panacea for that, the antidote to religion is to bring about good governance. For goodness sake, if a Muslim is going to fix electricity for me, who cares? It is when the fundamentals are non-existent, and then people tend to be centrifugal and look for easy way out. When you have people that are unemployed, they will have cause to, pray to God. But I must say this, I'm not an atheist, but I do a lot of research. Why is it that countries that don't believe in God, or they doubt the existence of God, agnostic they call them, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, why are they doing pretty good? And we, that we spend endless hours in churches and mosques, and we're doing this badly. Something must be fundamentally wrong. We need to have a rethink. We mustn't allow religion to divide us. From where I come from, it was never an issue. But it does appear it's rearing its ugly head, but we must nip it in the bud. My dad was a Christian. His mother, or rather, my dad was a Muslim. His mother was a Christian. My sister practices Christianity. My mom is a Muslim. I don't do any. I have liberal attitude to religion because it's a personal thing. Good governance is the antidote. And once we get the fundamentals in place, you would know that all these fault lines will begin to disappear gradually.
Fault lines like the federal character?
Again, federal character should be relegated. Once you have true federalism and you allow people to develop at their own pace, I don't think that would be a problem.
So you're not bothered about, as some would say, imbalance of representation from the zones?
There's a balance of power conundrum in Nigeria, and we must find a way to resolve it. Once you take population out of the parameters, what you consider in distributing the federally collected revenue, there will be less tension. Once you allow people to bake the cake from their region, and you don't go cap in hand to the federal government to collect money, you don't continue to run what my friend, the sui generis governor of Ekiti State, described as feeding bottle federalism. All these things will pale into insignificance.
Interesting. Mr. Bisi Adegbuyi is a delegate at the ongoing national conference. Thank you for coming on this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Okay, then we've got another perspective coming on in just a moment. Join us again.